Ministry of Defence have written to army families telling them to remain silent. Those who live on the base in Inverness, where 300 asylum seekers are landing before Christmas. Now, those who watch the videos regularly will probably remember Alex Kearney from Spartan Child Protection and myself drove up to Inverness on Monday. And when we were there, I hadn't realised that the army base is split into two. You've got the old barracks to the north side of it and just a wire cross fence. The other side is a large estate, which is still used by the MOD to house soldiers with families. Although the barracks is no longer used. These guys work at a barracks 20-30 minutes up the road. And the worst part of the story is the asylum seekers are due to arrive before Christmas and the soldiers are due to be deployed at the same time. So they will be gone. Now, when I was up there, the footage that I made was of a very large-scale housing scheme with soldiers' wives and families, and obviously soldiers. As of December, that whole area will not have a single adult male living there, and plenty of females with children on the same ground as the barracks, which will have 300 single male asylum seekers. Because of the way the barracks is made up for accommodation purposes, they have been told that that will only house males. What could possibly go wrong? Now, the worrying thing is, I'll share the correspondence with you. As we were up there, the families were receiving messages from the Army/MOD. And let me just share that with you. Dear families, you may have seen recent media coverage regarding asylum seekers due to be housed at Cameron Barracks. We understand this may raise questions or concerns, and we want to reassure you that the welfare of our service personnel and families remains our priority. Well, if that is your priority, don't allow the Home Office to put asylum seekers in there, because that is not prioritising anybody's welfare. However, if you or family are approached by the media, please do not engage directly. Instead, you may take a business card if offered one and pass the details to the battalion welfare team. None of us are authorised spokespeople, and all media inquiries should be directed to the Home Office and the number, or the MOD news desk or the email provided. Three Scots will hold a Teams briefing once further information is available. In the meantime, if you have any questions or need support, please don't hesitate to contact the welfare team directly. Thank you for your continued support and understanding. So, we're going to send your men away. We're going to put 300 single males that we don't really know who they are on your doorstep. It's on the same piece of ground that is divided by a fence that I've stood next to. But these guys are free to roam anywhere. And on the west side of this barracks, there's a high school. So that's where we're at. This makes no sense at all. And I think this is one of those letters that don't say anything or else. And I do fear what would happen. And I got this when I arrived there. I was told, and Alex was told independently, at the same time we were in two different places. I was in the housing part. Alex had went along to the local shops. We started talking to locals, and the two were told at the same time, you will not get an interview with any army wife. Now, I understood putting a soldier in front of a camera, probably unwise, but I was trying to get an interview with like a family. And I was told, and Alec was told independently, that will not happen, because the wives and the soldiers have been told, don't talk to anybody, and certainly don't say anything bad about 300 asylum seekers landing on your door. Don't talk about it. Now, I do understand that there's already plans by several bodies to have protests up in Inverness between now and Christmas. And I wholeheartedly support that. That makes sense to me. And I do hope that the good people in Inverness, because it's not just the army families that are affected by this, the whole community will be, because that's a massive amount of population for a town that's not massive. And I've been up there. I put the video out on Monday when I was up there before I came home, and I interviewed the public, and they're concerned, as you would be. But if you're an army family, you've not to be concerned, because the army's looking after you. And don't speak to anybody. Don't give anybody an opinion. And that's kind of rotten. I do get it. I understand why people like soldiers, army, civil servants, shouldn't give opinions on stuff like this. I totally understand that. I agree with that process, that procedure. But to silence wives of people who will genuinely be concerned. We did speak to two between us, and it was like head down, mouth shut, worried, concerned to even say hello. I saw some people up in Inverness, when I said, I'm a podcaster, are you local? Went into a state of shock, scared to even agree that they were local in case I asked them an awkward question. No, I wasn't approaching these people with my camera recording. I wouldn't do that to anybody. But I had my microphone in one hand with this on it. It was evident, but it wasn't recording. The camera was down at my side. And people, normal civilians, I don't know, some of them may have been the army personnel who were certainly round about that area. I had another woman who was happy to talk to me but couldn't do it immediately. So we swapped phone numbers, and she was going to do something in her personal business with her child and was going to come home and talk to me. And that changed within an hour. And that's kind of what you're up against here. But I kind of think this is a step too far. Soldiers, got it. Families, no. You can't silence people with concerns. You must be, as a soldier's wife, be allowed the same opinions, concerns, and be able to voice those concerns if you have some. But no, when there's asylum seekers involved. Shut up, put up with it, or ship out. Because these people, obviously, their man's career is at the bequest of people telling them to stay quiet. Their current residential situation is, under MOD rules. And you can imagine why people would take letters like this very serious, because they don't want to affect their husband's livelihood, and they don't want to affect where he might be posted, and they don't want to affect their living arrangements. And you can't blame them. But I think it's undue telling people not to directly engage with anybody who goes up and asks them questions. That's not right. If you want others to see this video, click the thumbs up, put your comments below, hit the share button. If you've not already done so, just double check that you're still subscribed, even if you think you are. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that as well. But more important than all that, unless you're the type of person who puts expectations like this in front of people who their husbands are serving the country, then not you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now. Behind me is Glasgow Sheriff Court, one of Europe's busiest courts. And because of that fact, we'll see every week several members of the public and podcasters, etc., facing trials in here for a number of things. However, an increasing number are for posts on social media, videos on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And for that reason and that reason alone, I believe it would make sense for everybody who does podcasts as a minimum to join the Free Speech Union, because they will help protect you when the law turns on you. That doesn't give you carte blanche to say what you want as a member, but it does give you the protection to help you when the law goes wrong. This is not now only something that should be considered by podcasters, because we are seeing more and more people each day arrested. Normal people who don't even see themselves as civilian journalists, arrested for posts on social media. So it makes sense to join the Free Speech Union, because we live in this country in 2025.